welcome to this week's episode of See You Weekly. I'm your host, Mariah Ashley, and I'm here with my panelists and my co-hosts, as always. I'm here with Julian.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I like your dress.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's your first episode. How are you feeling?
I'm excited to be here. A little bit nervous, though. I hope it goes well.
I'm sure you'll do fine.
Thank you.
We got Master Man Jack.
Thank you.
What's going on?
Just fighting the cold season so far.
Yeah.
Drinking orange juice all the time now, I feel like.
It's that time to start prepping for bad weather.
As long as I can treat it with ibuprofen and orange juice, I feel like I'm pretty good. It's better than going to McKinley, at least.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that later. Danny.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I was fine all day. Now my butterflies are going over.
Don't have butterflies. You'll be completely fine. First episode as well. How are you feeling?
Pretty good, pretty good.
All right. Well, let's get right to it. Let's talk about first the iPhone 6 Plus really, really quick because I know we talked about the iPhone last week. But there's been a lot of trouble in the news because the iPhone 6 the 6 Plus bends. Apparently, if you put it in your back pocket, it'll bend. Don't you think? I mean, for the phone to be, was it $300?
Oh yeah.
For the 16 gig.
$300.
And the phone bends. What do you guys think?
16 gig isn't that much anymore, really. Like my
Yeah.
phone was half that price, and I have like a 32 chip that I can put into it. That was a little bit extra. Like it's not that big. And there were even people that open up their boxes. I heard, and the phone was broken in the packaging.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, I saw. I mean, it might have been an internet thing. I don't know yet, but
Yeah.
people are talking about that. It's starting to become a real joke.
I don't see how it's possible though. Like, just bends.
Yeah, bends and cracks.
I think. They said that the phone it's titanium. The back of it is titanium or something. So just it doesn't take a lot of pressure for it to bend. And like they've been getting a lot of rep from Samsung or from Galaxy because their phone is so expensive. It's supposed to be this just amazing thing, and it's looking like a piece of crap right now because it's bending in half. Have you guys seen some of the advertisements?
Yeah, it's such a slap in the face because I know that for Apple at least it was supposed to be the next big thing. They were hoping that it would be really big on the market, but
Yeah, it's not even
I don't think they even considered the phone bending to be the problem ever.
How's the 6? It's made of the same stuff, so
It's smaller.
It's smaller though.
But then
so-
again, it's still an iPhone, so it's still pretty fragile.
Yeah.
It's not that much better.
Actually, I dropped it from my top bunk the other day, and it's completely fine. So I think
You're
that's
like the
yeah,
Hulk of iPhones,
yeah.
Dang.
No, it was
Really?
good.
I think. I'm not sure about the Gorilla Glass or the back being titanium and how it's not supposed to scratch or something. But maybe that's why it didn't break because of the Gorilla Glass. It's supposed
Maybe.
to have.
Maybe.
The best part, it's gone past like Samsung making fun of them. Now it's like every big advertiser wants like a piece of. I saw it was Pringles, I think.
Pringles.
Yeah, they're like, what's wrong with a little bit of bend? And there was like a picture of it.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
It's getting, and I feel like anybody who supports Samsung or anybody that supports Androids is just gonna come for that same thing. I mean, I've seen the bending like Beckham, like advertisement. It's like Beckham's looking at it, and then like the phone is just
And like
bending.
the
and it's
yeah,
like,
I saw that.
it's pretty sad. But
Yeah.
hopefully Apple gets it together.
Maybe not.
Maybe they always come out with a better version in like a few weeks or so, or
whatever.
they upgrade
Same thing
whatever
with
it
iOS, like it's kind of a mess. I'm sticking with my Samsung.
Yeah.
Sure.
Speaking of the iOS, you guys know that there's a feature on the iOS, is it the 8th?
yeah.
Where if you press details in your messaging, it'll show any picture that you sent that person, like any picture you've ever sent them, and it goes back like
Too far.
yes, way too far for comfort.
Really?
Yeah, I had a friend who was looking at hers, and it went back to like December, and she was like,
wow.
and she can't delete it. She can't figure out how to get rid of it. Because I guess the only way to get rid of it is if you actually go through the message thread and delete the original picture. But if it was in December, like who's gonna scroll back that far? And who's to say your phone can even go back that far?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like only you have access to it, so what's the big deal?
You would hope so, but with all these nudes leaking, I'm starting to feel like you're not the only person that has access to it.
Yeah.
And a new thing with iOS 8, you can reply to messages without leaving your app and on a lock screen, which is like so cool.
Really?
For those lazy people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know what? Well, I wonder about that because even if you reply to it with a locked screen, I mean, that means anybody can reply to it.
Yeah, which is what I was
Yeah.
thinking, but I
That's
don't know.
true.
I think
Yeah.
Apple's just all about good intentions and just not being able to back up on it.
It's
Yeah.
pretty though. It's got the
It's really
aesthetic.
nice
It's
looking, it's true,
gorgeous.
but-
That's what their company is built off of. It's built off of we look nice, we look pretty,
Exactly.
buy us.
We're sleek, you know. We're
And
young.
we do.
Sexy, yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna look nice in the office,
Yeah.
like, you know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm pro iPhone 6. 6 Plus, no, but
It's
the
just
6 is
too
nice.
big. It's
Yeah.
bigger than the Samsung Galaxy 5S, I think, and that's
Yeah.
just huge. Why not buy a tablet instead?
you
I
might
mean,
as well.
honestly,
The iPad Mini is probably the same size,
yeah.
or the
Probably.
iPad Mini.
As
yeah.
big as your face. There's something wrong with that.
So apparently, O'Hare Airport was not shut down, but they had about 2,000 canceled flights because a guy decided to set a fire inside the airport, and I believe it was beneath everything, but nonetheless, it started a lot of people, and they had to cancel a lot of flights, and everybody was pretty, I think, freaked out by it. And it was really strange because the guy, he didn't work for the airport. You know, he worked for an outside company that was brought in to work within the airport, but I don't know, it's just really strange. And then when they pulled him out, you know, he had burn wounds, he had self-inflicted stab wounds, and I think we're really just trying to wonder what was his purpose and what was this guy doing. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with it again. That this might just be another crazy person doing some weird stuff that, you know, because he starts a fire in the place that he works. He's an outside contractor, but he's starting a fire. They find him with stab wounds all up his arms, and to me it just seems like somebody with a little bit of imbalance that started a problem. It started a problem where in the worst place to start a problem in America would be in an airport.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my 2 cents on it, really.
What do you think, Danny?
Did he get in trouble or anything? Just a random.
I'm to my knowledge, he's still recovering from his wounds.
Yeah.
So there hasn't been a lot of talk about exactly what's going to happen to him because he is still in the hospital. But I don't know. Like I'm just curious as to why he would do this, and then why would he pick an airport? Because everybody knows that airports, anything that happens in an airport automatically gets ranked 10 points higher on the danger
Right.
scale
Yeah.
because
That's true.
it's an airport.
Yeah. Which I think you gotta look at the kind of how we're vetting people that work at airports, because I know it's just as strict. Like every day they got to go through security like all the passengers do. So what about people that are just getting pulled in for like a day? Are we making sure they're mentally competent and that we can trust them to be around all the sensitive equipment?
Yeah, did
Yeah.
anyone get his backstory or anything? Like,
Nobody really still knows why he did what he did, but I mean, seriously, who knows what drove him to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, no one
But
knows.
that's the scary part, because you can't account for just a random crazy person's actions.
Yeah.
Right.
You really gotta
Right.
just hope for the best sometimes. Hope you don't wind
Hire
up
a
on
crazy
someone's
person.
shit
Yeah.
list.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
true.
don't know. The first thing that came to my mind was, how easy it was for this guy to get around such an important equipment. This equipment probably could have really done some damage.
Yeah.
You really have to be careful who you're hiring and who, like
Yeah,
you
it was
said.
all radar equipment, that
Right.
kind of
Right.
really sensitive stuff that we look after.
Right. And I even wonder how much damage is done just to the equipment, just to the area. I'm sure. I mean, it's a fire, so
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't get any worse than a fire.
How
Besides,
big
what,
did
a
it get?
bomb.
Right.
It burnt down a good section of
Good
the
amount, yeah.
control room area, so
Right.
it's big enough to cause a problem for the entire airport. Which, if you cause a problem for an airport the size of O'Hare, that's kind of for the entire country, pretty much, and
Yeah.
maybe extending a little further than that.
Very true.
Right.
I don't know. Not sure. Watch
What
out for the
surprises
crazy.
me is nobody even thought to think, who is that stranger in this room right now? I feel like everybody should know who's who and what they're doing in the room, but someone was interviewed and he said something about how, there was a random person in the room, but nobody really cared to figure out what he was doing in there, and that's what scares me the
That
most
is
is
so
that nobody
dangerous,
took the initiative to
yeah.
figure out why he was in there. I don't know.
And it makes me wonder about how they're system is structured, because usually there's always a supervisor.
Right.
You know, obviously if you're a supervisor, you should know who's going to be working, who's supposed to be there and who's not. And I think a supervisor would be the person who would say, hey, you know, who are you? What's going on? You know, obviously that person wasn't there, or they were and they didn't do their job.
Right.
So
I don't know.
watch out for the crazies, guys.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's all we
They're
can
out there.
Well, let's talk about something that I really, really found very interesting. Have you guys heard of Humans of New York?
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
So for those of you who have not, it started off as just a simple, I believe he just wanted to take pictures of about 10,000 New Yorkers and then just post it as like a little picture book. But it ended up developing into something way more, to the point where he was getting quotes from each of these people when he was learning about their background story. And now it's just like a full-out blog of a bunch of people who live in New York, and there's these beautiful, beautiful pictures of them. They have like these mini biographies, and it's really, really interesting. I think it's a really great way to retain the humanistic qualities of the human race. I mean, we see all the time so many terrible things in the news, and you know, people are passing away, and then you know, it's just a lot of negativity. And I think this really really makes people, you know, realize like everybody has, you know, their own different problems, and everybody is human. You know, that sounds a little cliche, but I mean, yeah.
It's very
true.
Disney, but I like it. I don't know. I think it's really cool. It's a really awesome project. I wish they do it around here. Actually,
Yeah.
if someone would just pick up a camera and walk outside, start talking to people, because I feel like the campus especially, it's super diverse. There's people from around the country, there's international students that could bring in tons of things that
Right.
you wouldn't know unless you go and talk to these people. So,
We could like go contact him and tell him to come here.
Yeah, come do a Humans of Champaign Urbana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forget New York. That place is boring.
Right,
The
leave
walls
New
run down
York,
New
come
York.
here.
The diversity and interestingness of New York you've got it all. Come to Champaign
Yeah.
Urbana.
Right. No, I think it would be really interesting. I would love to see it go expand past New York. You know, definitely Chicago. You know, I'm trying to think of another big city. LA. I don't know. I feel like I kind of already know everybody in LA. They're always in the news. So.
I actually heard that he's going on a world tour soon. I know that he's
Really?
traveling with UN right now. So he is actually going to different countries, and it's really neat that what he does. And yeah, it's good to see. I mean, it's through your computer screen, but it's still nice to see, you know, people from across the world and just hear about their stories. I think it's neat.
It kind of restores your faith in humanity.
Yes.
Because like you said, there's all this negativity, and a lot of us think bad about like humans, and we don't like what they're doing, but this guy's actually doing something good and finding people who are unique and just spreading love.
Yeah. Very kumbaya-ish. Yeah, I like it. I was reading it, and like, it's kind of I'm not gonna say it's addictive, but like, just to see the pictures, you're like, ooh, like this is a cool picture. Let me read what's going on. And then you read, and you're like, oh my gosh, let me read the next one. And the pictures just keep getting better, and then the biographies just keep getting better, and you're just like, next thing you know, you just know like 5,000 people in New York eventually.
Right.
But you know,
Yeah.
I think it's pretty neat.
It is neat. I agree.
Yeah. Well, let's get into our final topic. Let's talk about these flu shots. Okay, so there's always been this debate about whether the flu shots are good or bad for you. I know a lot of people feel like, you know, there's like one group of people are like, oh, flu shots are great, they protect people, you're gonna be good for like all winter season, awesome. And then there's this other group of people that are like, no, you should let your natural immune system fight it off, and you're weakening your immune system. Like, what are you doing? I personally, I get the flu shot, and I can honestly say, like, I can't remember the last time that I was seriously, like, sick since I've gotten it. But there's no telling what could happen to me down the line.
I mean, I've never gotten a flu shot, and I've never really been sick besides, like, sore throat and stuff. But the flu shot, it, like, makes you get the flu, like, at first.
I actually heard about that.
It gives you, like, a weaker version of it so you can fight it off better when, like, the big thing comes.
Right.
But the thing is about flu is that it's always changing. It's like the cold, it changes every year, it mutates, so we're never really sure about what's gonna work.
Right.
So it's a gamble, but I mean, it's a gamble with your health. So I feel like there's nothing wrong with going and getting like a yearly flu shot, just to, you know, boost your immune system a little bit, give yourself a little help.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I did a little bit of research, and it was just talking about how the amount of mercury that's in this vaccine is causing people sick. Somehow it makes you more prone to like fetal death rates or whatever, and that kind of freaks me out a little bit. I'm like, how much can I believe? How much can I not? You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, I've gotten a couple, and I've been fine. So.
Have you ever gotten sick like since you've gotten the flu shot? Or have you gotten sick after you got the flu shot?
No, not really. No, I haven't gotten one this year, but I have been previous years. I've been fine. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it depends on the individual.
Yeah, that's true. I know there was one girl who was saying that her father was a doctor, and he told her to go ahead and get it, and that it was fine. I mean, he's a doctor. I mean, doctors probably made the flu shot, so I don't know.
I hope so.
Yeah, hopefully, right?
On some shaman.
I know. When doctors like look at you and they're like, "I think you're gonna be okay." I'm like,
cool.
really?
Yeah.
What?
You have like a 90% chance, so it's fine. Don't worry about that 10%, right? Yeah. I don't know. I have to make my way over to McKinley though and get my flu shot. I know. I don't know. I think my immune system is just weak. It just doesn't take much for me.
It's
So.
just ibuprofen and orange juice. It's like
Ibuprofen.
half the stuff you gotta do.
Ibuprofen, Jack.
Yeah.
That's like for headaches or something.
Yeah.
Like.
Makes you feel
It's
better.
for everything.
It's for
It's
everything.
for everything.
That is not what you're
It's
supposed to
true.
use.
It just numbs you for everything.
You guys read the back of ibuprofen?
I don't-
I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure it
read
doesn't
much.
say like colds or flu.
Yeah,
Like,
it's for aches and pains.
And headaches,
I've had
right?
so many aches and pains I gotta take care of. I'm just. It's good for everything. Ibuprofen it's the miracle drug. I'm not.
It really is.
That
When in doubt, just.
But I feel like
Pop
you
2 pills.
shouldn't do that to your body. Like, just like, I don't know.
oh, Danny, you're on the other
No,
side.
I get that. Like,
I'm just not someone who relies on drugs to make me feel better.
Yeah.
Like, I fight it off myself. Like, when I have a headache, I just tough it out. Like, that's just, I don't know.
And
I grew up like that, I guess.
That's probably a lot better for your body. I mean, it probably
Right.
makes you a lot more immune than any shot that you could probably get by you just fighting it off. But I mean, I don't know. I think everybody's different. I mean, like you said, you don't really get sick a lot. So, I mean, if somebody who usually does get sick and they're like, not dealing with that this winter, they're like going to get the flu shot. But I don't know. I just hope that it doesn't like turn out to be like I Am Legend or something. And it's like, oh, it's a flu shot. It's so great. And everybody's like turning into like zombies and stuff.
Oh my god.
You know?
So this is how it ends.
Right. That's going to be it for today's episode. Make sure you guys keep up with us on Twitter and Facebook, as well as our website, www.seeyouweekly.com. And also check out our online magazine, The Spread. Our very own Danny, that you saw on the roundtable tonight, wrote an article about the iPhone 6. So make sure you read that, and we'll see you next week.